I gotta say, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope everyone is having a nice holiday and a good week with family or friends. Whether or not you're alone or with said family friends, I hope you guys are enjoying your day so far. But for this episode of Boruto, I think it was a great way to end off the year. Like the scenery was honestly amazing because we never really seen Genjutsu being unraveled like this before. It usually just instant disperse with Jakiriki, but with Boruto, it was kind of a slow disintegrating atmosphere around them, and I just thought it was so cool. But I really ahead of myself. When we first see the episode start off, Boruto wakes up and Yasume and Rokuro, they all wake up, and so they see all the others are trapped. So they try to figure out how to get out of this place and try to find Olga. And they did this map from this that random spy of Olga's. So they try to figure out this way outside of this maze or whatever, but apparently it is a genjutsu because Rokuro makes it a point where they have been walking around in the same spot and it just ends up going nowhere. By the way, I'm kind of disappointed with Rokuro because with Rokuro he kind of took a regression because when we see the last episode where Rokuro was working with Boruto against Kizaru, he was working with them. So I thought Rokuro had a change of heart. So I was kind of disappointed when Rokuro seemed to be the only one that haven't had a change of heart. He was kind of still the only person that really cares about themselves. I was genuinely disappointed about that because everyone had their own individual arc, and I thought it would have been the same for Rokuro. Now I guess there is one other person who did not get better, and that's that random girl who Shama was a simp for. I was hoping we could get a cameo from her, but we didn't even get that. But I mean, I guess she was kind of useless anyway. All she did was uh, be a a a blockage in Shama's path. And now that Shama got over that, and hopefully Shama, we do see him and Yasume more because I love Yasume. Rokuro, I don't really care about Rokuro because I mean he kind of just chump change. But regardless, when we see that Rokuro is kind of getting fed up that Yasume is not getting into the map, Boruto makes it a point to actually see what's outside, see what's the cause of this, and while Boruto's going his own individual way, he suddenly get cut off by a rock, so he cannot help Yasume because Rokuro is actually in the way of bounding to apparently kill Yasume, and she actually defeats Yasume fairly easily by just implanting this snake inside him, inside her. I mean, and so he could just control her, take the map easily, and it's done deal. And what surprises me about this is when we do see that Yasume she can actually just paralyze the snake inside her body. Like I never seen a person be able to do that to paralyze a living organism inside their own body. That just seems fucking cool to me. And it's very especially cool when we see that Yasume. When we apparently she's not a fighter. She's not that good at fighting because when Yasume, she was very she was very weak. She is incredibly weak. Now she had great willpower in letting Boruto survive. Cause Boruto, he did not want to let Yasume go down. So Yasume wanted Boruto to kill her so they could just end this. And unfortunately for Boruto, he's just too smart for his own good, and he realizes that they're in another genjutsu because the pain is not real. And that's where Yasume, now Olga, decides to reveal the curtain that she is the mastermind behind this, and that the fake Olga was just a puppet, which apparently the puppet just blew up Rokuro, which is so sad to me. How Rokuro seems to be incredibly weak. Like the fact that you could not defeat a puppet of all things, that is so sad to me. That you are not that strong as you seem to be. Yeah, you were able to defeat Yasume, but when it comes to non-living organism, you are trash because I mean he obviously cannot put a snake inside a puppet, so that's not going to do anything. And with his I guess sharp arms. He doesn't seem to do much with them because they're essentially worthless. They do like literally no damage, and it's just so sad to be seeing how Rokurou is just so boring to me. Like I like Shamo. I not Namusan. I like Kizuru. I like all the other characters more than Rokurou, because Rokurou just found to be a boring secondary antagonist. But regardless, when we see that Yatsume now Oga is actually an inner, it was kind of cool to me how they actually explained. I was gonna ask myself, I was gonna ask them why was she not involved with the inner plans of getting the karma aspect of things going. How come she didn't wasn't assigned with getting Kawaki out of Konoha? How come she was assigned doing specific missions that dealt with fighting certain things or defending certain elements? And it was known that Amando needed someone to help him with his experiments, and that was what Olga was created for. Because she is not a fighter by no means. She was only meant to be someone who could use their brain and intellect. And when we see that, like, someone like Olga, she was so invested in her research that she wanted to investigate Jigen Heart. And it's kind of cool, like, because it actually managed to succeed. Would they be able to technically be able to make it a Suki with their DNA? Because again, in the manga, we have seen a Suki DNA being utilized in a fascinating way. So it makes me wonder if they actually do a more in-depth research on a Suki, can they actually expand upon what they currently could do in the manga. But I mean, I guess that's just anime only thing that we're just never going to see. But I mean, it is an interesting possibility of where are we going to see more Asuki related abilities occur if if Olga actually managed to investigate the workings of the Asuki body or whatever, the Asuki body and DNA. And of course, obviously, Boruto's pissed. He's pissed that Olga actually just been this girl who's been deceiving them the whole time. But it actually makes sense because for Olga, it was kind of confusing me how when she was crying that everyone wanted to live. I mean, it genuinely did not make sense to me how she was surprised at everyone's determination to live. But she herself, she doesn't know what kind of lifestyle she wants. She doesn't know what kind of dreams that she has because she after she left Kara, after Jigen fucked her over, she literally had no purpose. Literally, her main purpose was to help Amando. Now that that purpose is gone, she has no purpose because again, that was her sole purpose. And now that we see that Olga had been struggling with herself, and she had been struggling at understanding the human desire to live. It's been really interesting to see how this is the route she took to be able to see if she can get a desire or the inspiration to get the desire to live. And it's just so crazy and baffling to me that you see these people's lives at games and you just made them think they were actually about to die, and you was like you were fine with all of that. Now, granted, she did seem nice enough to not like kill anyone for real. Like she wasn't about to go sicko mode on any of these people because they were all in these chambers and they weren't actually meant to die. They were just in just an experiment, and for Kara, this is one of the least harmful experiences, considering the fact that Ishiki killed dozens of kids. Compared to that, this is basically harmless. What she did here is not that bad. And it's just so sad to me because she started to feel so guilty and she wanted Boruto to kill her for real. And obviously Boruto did not want to do that. And it's just so cool to me how it was in the same place where Kaji Koji and Ishiki had their little beef and their little squabble, and it's just so cool to be how that's the place she thought of when she decided to make the Jinjutsu. And when the Jinjutsu started to crumble around, presumably because she had no more willpower to to sustain it was just so awesome to me. Seeing the sky look so damn beautiful, everything just looks so awesome. The scenery and seeing how Boruto was so damn motivated to help this girl out. It was just so awesome seeing how he was going so much out of his way just to be able to help Olga. Even though even though apparently to the to the random people as I was saying, there have been dozens of kidnapping, presumably besides the ones that we already know. There have been more kidnapping, and I don't know. I just didn't know. I don't know. That just didn't feel right to me. Seeing how there have been more people captured besides just this current group of people that we already know, and that Olga just gets away scot free. Boruto doesn't care about any of that. She still considers her a friend. And, for Boruto, I think that is the correct move because she's not inherently evil. She just doesn't know what to do with her life. But it's just so bizarre to me how that there was no consequences of this arc. There were no repercussions of this arc. Because now okay, she actually did manage to survive. Now, after seeing Boruto's determination from start to finish, seeing how impressed that he was, he actually did. She actually does manage to get the urge to get the desire to live. So she wakes up and get everyone out of the genjutsu and with Sarada, Miki, and Kawaki, they are all like desperately begging for the Omnu to wait another day because they need Boruto back. Because I mean, they cannot just abandon Nakama like that. Cause I mean, cause that's just not something you do in the Boruto verse. And it kind of surprises me that we didn't see any reaction from Naruto or Hinata about any of this. That was genuinely shocking to me about that. That we just see any real display of emotion from them. I don't think we've seen any interaction from them from my memory, and that kind of surprised me because it's been a couple of days, and if not even Kawaki, Miki, or Sarada know, then you would expect the father to be going in there. Like even someone like Kizaru, like he was investigating just to save his best friend, and for someone like Naruto who could do dozens of clones, I mean he really could have easily just went in there and just say Boruto if he actually felt like it and he actually asked the Omnu to cooperate with him because in this episode the Omnu was not willing to they were not willing to wait on this mission anymore. They weren't willing to give Team 7 that leeway to maybe hope for their teammate to come back, to maybe hope for the rest of the people to come back. They were fully ready to give up on Kizaru. And, I just didn't like that, to be honest. But regardless, when we do see that everyone is back alive, everyone is in the real world, I genuinely thought there would be so much backlash because when we see that Olga wakes everyone up, I thought she was gonna have this major reveal where everyone is shocked at her that she's Olga, and a lot of people are going to be pissed, and that Boruto was going to support her, and that suddenly everything's fine, and she takes punishment. But I guess in this instance, she just runs away and just gives a letter she just gives a letter to Boruto saying how she has found enlightenment alongside with Namasan. She has found enlightenment. She has found her dream, and I thought that was cool. I thought that seeing Shamo interact with Boruto again, I thought that was cool. I thought seeing Kizaru interact with his friend, I thought that was all great and dandy. But I just think the penalty of having no repercussions for anyone whatsoever, even the villains, I just thought that was a little tame in my opinion. I think it could have been a little bit better executed on that part. But when it comes to the animation and the art style, I thought that was great. I thought that was fantastic, especially the Genjutsu world crumbling around them scene. I thought that whole segment was great, and I think that was really the highlight of the episode for me. But I would love to know your thoughts on this episode as a whole. I would love to know what your thoughts are. And are you excited for the sake actually being animated? Because I know I am. It's been a long time coming, and we're just gonna have to see what's going to happen in anime and how well animated it can be, and they can even do a good job of that. But regardless, I'll see you guys on that one.